The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to Hangovers from Hell.
Welcome to Hangovers from Hell, a true crime podcast where every story starts with
some prick getting wankered.
G'day, I'm Flan, and I'm here to tell you and my friend Doggo a story about some misadventures that happened after someone got drunk. Doggo is going to enjoy some of the alcoholic beverages featured in today's story.
G'day.
How are ya?
I'm alright. How are you, man?
Good.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, you ready for our story? Now, if I say to you, Gable Tostee, does that ring any bells to you? Do you know who that is?
No, I've not heard of Gable Tostee.
Gable Tostee, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Could I just preamble this?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the right word. It's, for some reason my brain doesn't work. It's probably because I've had two vodkas before we started. I am going to drink whatever they drank in this story when they were getting wankered.
Yep.
So the drinks were
Homemade vodka,
hooch.
also reported as moonshine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if that is moonshine, just homemade vodka.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, so homemade vodka and then a 6-pack of Tui's Extra Dry.
Right. So I've got both of those things.
Yep.
So I've nearly finished my body already.
Yep.
My second one. But do I have to drink all 6 of these Teds?
Yes. I appreciate that you bought 6. All right, you ready for a story?
Right.
At around 8:45 p.m. on the 7th of August 2014, 28-year-old Gable Tostee gave his Kiwi Tinder date, Warriena Wright, an awkward hug while meeting in person for the first time on Cavill Ave on the Gold Coast in Australia. This date would end with one of them being dead and the other being charged with murder.
Crikey Moses. What a setup.
8 years earlier, when Gable Tostee was 17, he and 2 friends ran a fake ID scheme where he would sell personalised IDs for $60 each to people attending the Gold Coast to celebrate leaving school. By the time they got busted by the police, they'd made $30,000.
Fuck.
Tostee was sentenced to 200 hours community service and a period of probation.
Did he get to keep the 30 grand?
Don't know. Couldn't tell ya.
That's 500 fake IDs, eh?
Is it?
Yeah. What's $60 a go?
5. Oh, yeah. Is it 500 or 5,000?
No, it's 500.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just calculated it with my calculator.
Okay. $30,000 is pretty good for 17.
Yeah. Over what time period?
I don't know. Just got busted when he was 17.
There you go.
So for his fake ID scam, Tostee was sentenced to 200 hours community service and a period of probation. After this brush with the law, Tostee kept a low profile, not going out or socialising for the next 5 years.
When you do community service, do you have to do like 40 hours a week of that shit?
I believe...
Is he knocked over that in 5 weeks? You know, like it's not that much punishment really. Like 5 weeks work, 30 grand.
Yeah, true.
I'd do 5 weeks work for 30 grand, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'm guessing they would have taken the 30 grand off him though, so...
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, good point.
So, yeah, that would have hurt a little bit.
Yeah, if you do 200 hours community service, you get to keep your 30 grand.
Yeah, totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't know how that works, to be honest. But 200 hours, that's like a fair bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually did it or not. But after this happened, Tostee kept low profile.
Did he? How low was it?
It was like ground level profile.
Was it?
Yeah. For the next 5 years, not meeting women or having sex.
So he didn't have sex from when he was 17 till 22.
22, yep, supposedly.
Sounds like your upbringing.
It does, except I didn't have sex when I was 17.
Good point. Good point. You also didn't have 30 grand.
Yeah, I also didn't have sex when I was 22. In 2010, Gable, who loved cars, bodybuilding, and women, decided he was ready to come out and party.
He loved women. Did he love low profile cars?
Ooh, that's clever.
Did live on the Goldie.
Yep, he loved low profile cars, low profile bodybuilding, and low profile women.
All right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So he joined an online bodybuilding forum initially to get advice on supplements, but then used it to get advice on how to set up a Facebook page and make friends, and then how to pick up women.
What year was this? Like
2010.
2000. Oh, yeah. Because, yep.
So yeah, he's like said in this forum, like, do I just try and look up everyone I know and just add them as friends? So yeah,
Right. 2010, like Facebook was pretty established by then, right? Like people knew what was going on. Like,
oh geez, I don't know. I have trouble remembering what I had for breakfast this morning. I hope it wasn't poisonous.
Yeah, it's those years of hard liquor.
I know,
yeah.
And it's that hard liquor that I had for breakfast this morning.
That's right.
Gable was working for his dad's carpet business. His routine was said to be work for a few hours, take a nap, then hit the clubs. He only had to work for a few hours each day because he was reportedly being paid $70 an hour.
Was he?
Yep.
2010.
Laying carpet, $70 an hour. Now,
Fuck, well, there you go. Well, thanks, Daddy.
I should mention that I'm still waiting on Gable Tostee's dad to send me a copy of one of Gable's pay slips from that time so I can verify the information.
You've reached out to him, have you?
Yeah, but he hasn't responded so far.
Have you actually reached out to him?
No, definitely not.
You should have like hit him up for comment. So I'm doing this sick potty
I know.
about your son.
About your son. About your dead shit.
Your dead or murdering son. I'm not sure which one it is yet.
Yep.
And would you be happy to come on and just say a few words? Say a few words is a bit grim.
I should have used the words though. Dead or murdering son.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Gable was an introvert posting on the online forum in his bedroom, asking for tips on procuring women and what pickup lines he should use.
Yeah, it's a worry, eh? Like, well, I guess as a 22-year-old thinking that pickup lines are actually a thing that exist outside of like teen movies is like pretty horrendous.
Yes.
And just the term procuring women, like procurement officer.
Yeah, I actually wrote that though.
Oh, you did? That wasn't him. He wasn't on there like typing that in. I finished laying my carpet for the day. I want to procure a woman. Right, okay. He wanted to pick up.
He wanted to pick up, but I thought that probably best summed up the way that he was approaching it.
Right, okay.
So he wanted some tips on procuring women.
All right, so that's you. You've taken a bit of like artistic license there to.
Yeah, but I think I nailed it.
Yeah. Okay, righto.
Yeah.
You did. It was killer. It was
good.
killer.
Thank you.
No pun intended.
As his confidence improved, a number of conquests mounted, he would go on to say on the bodybuilding forum, great comments such as, I feel amazing after rooting a hot girl. It's a huge confidence boost. And one of the reasons I try to sleep with different girls as often as possible is to improve my own confidence.
Oh, God. This is like, that's pretty grim, eh? That like, that exists.
Is that what?
But people actually act like that and for whatever reason are conditioned to think that that's an okay way to act and that that's like what you need to do to feel good about yourself is really pretty like that.
It's pretty cringe.
Yeah. This dead or murdering person is pretty... Anyway, I finished one beer.
Oh, well, that's all right. Pretty good.
If I keep interrupting you, I'll be able to get them down, like, because I'll extend the time that we're here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway.
One time on the online bodybuilding forum, he said, and this is quote, I'm somewhat obsessed with recording everything. I have motion detection cameras in my house, call recording on my phone, and sometimes even leave my phone on record in my pocket for nights out in case I forget what happens. End quote.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Can you do call recording on your phone?
Yeah.
Does it, like, let the other person know? Like, I think legally you have to let someone know if you're going to record them, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We do it for work with like Zoom and stuff, but there's an alert that comes up.
Yeah, like you're being recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
For training purposes.
Yeah, but what he would do is he would hit the voice record button on his phone and then put it in his pocket
Yeah.
and then go out clubbing and hook up with women and procure women and then just record them without them knowing.
Yeah.
Gable got hard into the nightclubbing scene on the Gold Coast and would go clubbing by himself, often during the week. He would also secretly record the women that he was hooking up with and kept a diary with names and dates of the women he had sex with. He was reported to constantly harass young women and be a general, so much so that a heap of clubs on the Gold Coast had banned him from going into their premises.
Wicked. What a legend.
Yeah. In 2012, he went onto the forum to announce he had made a century and had at this point had sex with 100 women.
It's a lot, eh?
That is a lot.
It's more... It's... Yeah.
But imagine how good his confidence would have been by then.
Wow.
Pretty high.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been low profile, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
By 2013, after not being able to get into the local clubs, Gable had to find a new way to meet women for sex and was stoked to discover Tinder.
Ooh.
Gable really ramped things up and would screenshot his Tinder conversations to share on the forum, referring to the women as sleuts.
Sweet.
He would make comments on the forum like, just had a big fail streak over the weekend, met up with 4 different chicks, 3 who came over to my apartment for drinks, but were totally frigid.
Well, maybe they're not on the... Maybe they are looking for someone to marry.
Yeah?
Or maybe he's just a massive...
Actually, I met someone who had gone on a date with Gable Tostee, who had met...
No.
Yeah. We were on a river cruise up in far north Queensland.
Yeah.
And someone there was just chatting, and I don't even know how it came up. But yeah, she had a fiance then, so she'd moved on. But yeah, she had said that she'd actually been she'd met him through Tinder and
No way.
went on a date with him and went up to his apartment.
Wow.
Yeah.
But she's not dead or a murderer.
No.
So
she's not dead or a murderer.
That's pretty cool.
She just reckoned he was like really creepy. And she said, a funny thing she said was that apparently everything in his apartment was covered in like a fine white powder. So I'm curious about that.
Does that come up anywhere except this like person you met on a boat cruise?
No,
right, okay.
In the early hours of July 24th, 2014, following the Splendour in the Grass Music Festival, which was around a 1-hour drive from the Gold Coast, Gable Tostee was asleep in his dad's car when his friends woke him. They wanted Gable to drive them back to the Gold Coast so that they could get into a nightclub before the lockout at 3 a.m. Not too long after being woken up, police noticed a car with no number plates going 150 kilometres an hour up the Pacific Highway.
Why did he take the number plates off?
Don't know.
Yeah, just like what, asking to be pulled over?
And doing 150 k's an hour, yeah, way to be inconspicuous.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Gable's dad's car, and Gable was behind the wheel, which you already picked up. He's a smart man. Police tried to stop him, but he sped up, and a high-speed chase ensued.
Awesome.
Where he got up to 195 k's an hour. He had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.2, which is 4 times the legal limit.
That's pretty high. That is high.
Police had to use road spikes, and the car eventually stopped, with Gable resisting arrest, but being arrested eventually. After Gable was given bail for the high-speed chase, he matched on Tinder with Warriena Wright, who was visiting the Gold Coast for a friend's wedding and taking the opportunity for a bit of a holiday. Gable, always the charmer, said in separate Tinder messages, "Let's get drunk together. I'm a porn star after a few drinks." And...
Sweet.
This is a good one. "You look delicious. I want to do dirty things to you."
What a ledge.
His smooth moves obviously worked with Warriena, with her giving Gable her number and arranging to meet. By this time, Gable had reportedly had sex with around 180 women.
It's a lot, eh?
Or sleuts, as he would call them.
Yeah. Makes me feel a bit grotty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cable Grotsky. The pair arranged to meet. After that awkward hug at their first meeting in the heart of Surfers Paradise, the pair went for a drink at a nearby tavern, then decided to head up to Gable's apartment. They called into a bottle shop, grabbed a 6-pack of Tui's extra dry beer,
Yes.
which is described by Tui's as a clean, crisp lager, and headed up to the 14th floor of the Avalon apartment complex.
What year was this? 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they were in the apartment, they got stuck into Gable's homemade vodka and the Tui's extra dries, took some selfies together, and had sex.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there any more detail on that? Not that I care. I just
Detail on...
the sex.
No.
Yeah.
Other than it happened in bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Boring.
Yeah. At 12:55 a.m., Gable turned on the voice recorder on his phone. Later, in an interview with 60 Minutes, for which he was reportedly paid $150,000,
Right.
when he was asked by the interviewer about hitting record on his phone the night he was with Warriena, Tostee replied, quote, "Well, the question isn't so much, why did I do that, but why wouldn't you do that?"
What a legend.
Yeah. He then goes on to explain that he doesn't have the best memory when he's drinking, and when asked why he needs to record his night out, Gable responds by saying, "It's a just-in-case thing, that you are better off having something and not needing it than you are needing something and not having it. Just in case." The interviewer asks, "Just in case what?" And Gable says the night of what happened with Warriena Wright is the perfect example. So, yeah.
Right. I don't know what happened with Warriena Wright yet.
No, but
But
that was him in the interview after saying, "See, look, I told you I should record every night out."
I see what's going on here. This is stitch up. All right.
Yeah, he's not dead. He's alive.
Is he?
By the time Gable had hit record on his phone, Warriena was drunk. Not long after, the pair are casually drinking Gable's homemade vodka and chatting. The topic of conversation turns to dying. Warriena says, "I know you want to kill me because you told me so." Shortly after, Gable says that he thinks that there is nothing after death. He says, "Throw me off the balcony and that is it. This is it. Boom."
Right.
While they're on the topic of death, Warriena says, "I'm not scared of I'm all good with dying. I'm like, God, kill me." Warriena is sounding more drunk, and they mention that it might be time for her to go home. At 1:35, Warriena, sounding drunk and frustrated, asks Gable where her stuff is and asks where her phone is. Gable asks if she wants him to ring it, to which she replies, "Yes, I'd like you to ring it." Tostee then says, "I didn't say you had to leave. I said that you had to stop beating me up." And the recording shows a drunk-sounding Warriena getting frustrated and threatening to call the police, but she has no phone.
Good point.
Anyway, shortly after, Gable says, "I should never have given you so much to drink, and I don't deserve this okay? I am a nice guy." Gable goes on about Warriena beating him up and that he's gonna have bruises. Gable later alleged that Warriena was throwing ornamental rocks at him and that she tried to attack him with a metal part of a telescope. Yeah.
Sweet. I would argue he's probably not a guy, but he may not have deserved that.
Well, Gable was 6'3" and 93 kilos.
Yeah, I take that back. He's a really nice guy, Gable. I love you. Sorry.
And Gable was into bodybuilding.
Yes, and so it's 93 kilos of muscle.
Yeah.
Not my 90 kilos of big slop dog.
93 kilos of lard in a sack.
That's right. Sack lard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Warriena was 5'3" and weighed 57 kilos, which is 1 9/10 times as heavy as a Dalmatian.
What, any Dalmatian or an average Dalmatian?
As a one particular Dalmatian.
The one that you weighed this week.
Yeah, I did. I was like, quick, get me something to weigh. I need a comparison here for the podcast.
Darren was walking his Dal out the front.
Yeah.
Just walking past. You're like, Darren.
Yeah. I was like, quick, yeah.
Can I borrow Spotty for a sec?
Bring Spotty in here.
How much does the Dalmatian weigh?
I don't know.
How much did Spotty weigh?
I don't know. It was actually hard to find something that was a comparison to 57 kilos, as you may be able to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Okay, so after a bit more arguing and talk of cooking some food, Warriena asks if she can go over to the window and have a look. Gable says, "Don't jump off or anything." At 2:14 a.m., an angry Tostee says, "You are not my kind of girl. That is enough. You have worn out your welcome. You have to leave." A minute later, he says, "I thought you were kidding and I have taken enough. This is You are lucky I haven't chucked you off my balcony, you goddamn psycho little bitch."
Mm.
He then says, "You're a goddamn psycho. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to walk you out of this apartment just the way you are. You are not going to collect any of your belongings. You are just going to walk out, and I'm going to slam the door on you. Do you understand? If you try and pull anything, I'll knock you out. I'll knock you the out. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Come on, get up, get up."
That's like pretty full on, eh?
Yeah. Warriena says, "I am so sorry." Gable then says, "I don't care. You don't understand, do you? You don't understand anything at all, do you? You don't understand, do you?" Then there are sounds of a struggle, and this is where Gable would later say that Warriena was holding the telescope part that she supposedly tried to hit him with. Gable is heard to say, "Let go. You think that you hit me with that and I was going to fall down like in the movies? Let go of it. Let go. Let go. Let go." There is a sound on the recording which sounds like a glass door to the balcony being opened, and it sounds like Warriena is struggling and very drunk.
Mm.
Gable says, "Who the do you think you are? Hey?" Warriena is frantically and desperately saying no over and over. Gable then says, "You tried to kill me, huh? Well, why did you try and hit me with that, huh? Shut your filthy mouth." Warriena is becoming more desperate and frantic at this stage, screaming and still saying no repeatedly and, "Just let me go home." Gable then says, "I would, but you have been a bad girl." Warriena says again, "Just let me go home, just let me go home, just let me go home, just let me go home." She says no to Gable a total of 33 times as he drags her out onto the balcony and locks the door. A short time later, Gable's phone records the faint scream from Warriena as she falls 14 stories to her death trying to climb down to the apartment below. Yeah.
That's so grim. Where's this on the Goldie?
Yeah, on the Goldie.
Do you know where it is? Like whereabouts?
The Avalon Apartments. So a minute later, Gable's phone picks up the sound of him breathing heavily, and then he makes a phone call. To 000 for an ambulance? No. To his lawyer, who doesn't answer as it's 2:20 in the morning. Does he go out to the balcony to see what's happened, or if Warriena is okay? Nope. Which seems strange, as Gable would go on to say that he didn't hear Warriena scream when she fell. The recording then picks up Gable swearing and looking for his keys and saying. He then says, "Oh my God," and you hear him getting dressed and heading out the door. There are sirens in the background. He then catches the lift to the ground floor, notices a heap of emergency services out the front, so ducks out the back door. He then tries his lawyer again, takes a screenshot on his phone of a picture of Warriena, then calls Warriena's phone. You then hear him on the recording, walking along the strip, and say, "A piece of Supreme, please." He's just stopped in for a slice of pizza because he's a bit peckish.
What I don't get, how did the police get this recording, and why the didn't he delete it?
Because he just had it and recorded it, and
just thought that no one would ever want to hear it, or like it wouldn't incriminate him.
No, I actually think it is possibly what got him off.
Exonerated.
Yeah, in the end.
Oh, was he exonerated?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Well,
yeah, so
you always do this to me.
You do this to yourself.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, righto. So, but you did say before she was trying to climb down to the apartment below.
Yeah, so that wasn't disputed because there was witnesses that saw like her legs dangling down, and
yeah, okay, that's pretty.
In the 60 Minutes interview, the interviewer was like, "Why didn't you go over and see like if she was okay, if she'd fallen off or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, I didn't think it would look good if people like saw me peering over the edge after she's just fallen off. So he reckons he's instantly thought, oh no, they'll think I've pushed her, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna bail. So he just heads down, sneaks out the back door.
I was going to go get a slice of Supreme.
Yeah, and go get a nibble. Yeah. At 3:23, this is probably about an hour after this kind of happened. He's been wandering around. So at 3:23, Gable calls his father and says, "Hello, Dad. I might have a bit of a situation. See, I met up with a girl for a date tonight, and she started getting really aggressive. It was all right at first, and like we, had sex in bed, and she kept drinking."
Why did he tell his dad where they had sex?
I know.
Like, we had sex in the spa, Dad.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
And now she's dead.
I don't know. I think they have a bit of a weird relationship.
Mm.
We were both drinking, and I think that she thought that it was like a joke or something, and she kept like beating me up and whatever. It was because she was really drunk and whatever, and I like forced her out onto the balcony, and I think that she might have jumped off. Gable's dad says, "Oh no." They go on to discuss it, with Gable repeatedly assuring his dad that he didn't push her, and his dad said, "I'm sure you wouldn't, mate." Which to me kind of sounds like he's saying, "I'm not 100% sure you wouldn't, mate."
Jesus.
Gable's dad tells him that he's coming to get him. After a while, Gable is like, "What the f***? It is her phone in my pocket," which is interesting, seeing when she tried to leave earlier, she couldn't find her phone. Gable's dad pulls up and Gable gets in the car. While Gable is talking to his dad, he's trying to reassure him that he didn't cause Warriena's death and that he is the real victim here. Gable then tells his dad that he tried calling her phone, and his dad says, "Don't call her phone." Gable calls her phone. For some reason, she doesn't answer, and it goes to message bank. It's possibly because she's dead at the bottom of Gable's apartment building and her phone is in Gable's pocket.
Yeah, weird. Imagine that.
Gable's dad says, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" To which Gable replies, "I don't know." Gable then tries to call the phone again. Gable says, "Why does this always happen to me? I didn't ask for this. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just invited the girl over." Gable's dad asks, "Was she jealous or something?" Then Gable says, "Me and her had sex, and it was like the more that she drank, she just got violent for some reason." Gable's dad then asks, "Did she want a more serious relationship or something?" Which seems to be a pretty fair justification to lock someone out onto a 14th floor balcony. Someone who is extremely drunk, just over half your weight, and has begged you to let them leave. Maybe. Yep. Then,
Oh, Jesus.
Gable tries to call Warriena's phone again. Then he's heard on the recording saying, "I don't ask for this. Why does this always happen to me?"
What?
And then that was the end of the recording.
How much storage space does he have on his phone?
Yeah, I don't know. He must have got the one with the biggest storage when he chose his plan.
Yeah, this is 2014.
Yeah.
And like, what does he download them onto his computer every day after he's been out? Like recording 8 hours of voice recording? Seems mental.
Don't know. Probably just kept doing bad shit and then getting in trouble, and then was like, if I record it, maybe I can get out of it.
Maybe he didn't do bad shit. Maybe he just like was a bit of a...
Yeah.
It sounds like a bit of a... But also wasn't convicted.
Yeah.
So, I have mixed feelings about Gavin Tostee.
Yeah. Warriena Wright's blood alcohol was measured at 0.156 when she died. Due to the extreme injury she suffered, the blood alcohol test had to be taken from fluid from her eyeball.
Oh.
Her body was so badly damaged, it was said to have folded over onto itself, and the pathologist could not tell how tall she was.
Fuck. Hey, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for adding those.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that.
Details.
Yeah.
Man.
A week after the tragic death of Warriena, Gable Tostee was arrested at his parents' house and charged with murder. He was released on bail with conditions to not drink alcohol and not use Tinder, and his trial took place in 2016. The jury took 4 days to find that Gable Tostee was not guilty of murder or manslaughter. Following the verdict, Gable Tostee changed his name to Eric Thomas and went back on Tinder. His profile tagline was, "Shh, don't tell Channel 9. When he's been asked about why he changed his name, he said, "Just been planning on doing it for ages and
Just Just going to change my name by default. you know?
Yeah, just been wanting to for like forever, so just did. But yeah, so he's back on Tinder and he's doing that, and his taglines, "Shh, don't tell Channel 9."
Yeah.
And he later went on to say that Channel 9 ruined his life.
Because of 60 Minutes interview.
I don't know. I don't know if it was because of that interview or what.
Is 60 Minutes on Channel 9?
Yeah. Warriena Wright's father stated in an interview that he believed Gable Tostee should have been charged with false imprisonment causing death, which is interesting point, I thought.
Clutching at straws, but I guess
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because essentially at the end of the day, he's like not your most stand up ever in the world, but
probably not a murderer.
Did he directly cause her death? And I'd say no, really, and that's probably why he got acquitted of murder and manslaughter.
You're a judge, are you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I hell am.
Yeah, that's right.
Since the trial, Tostee loved getting involved in online arguments and not doing himself any favours. In one Facebook post, Tostee said, "If Benny is short for Ben, why is Benny longer?" adding the emoji for feeling thoughtful. A woman responded with, "Says the murderer with the fake name," to which Tostee replied, "The only thing I murder is pussy." Yeah.
What's the feeling thoughtful emoji? Is that where you put your finger in like a gun position on your chin?
Yeah, like a V shape on your chin, yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at the sky. Yeah.
How thoughtful.
Another time, he didn't help his reputation and then complained about the negative attention he got for it when he posted on Facebook on International Women's Day, "Happy International Women's Day to all my hoes." Yeah, and then complained that people spoke about it.
Did he? What a legend, eh? He's such a it's mental that people actually live like that and just exist and think that acting like that's okay. It's really,
I know.
It's really messed up. That's exactly what's wrong with the world, eh?
Yep, it really is.
I know he didn't kill anyone and he's not dead, but he's a.
Yep.
Sorry, Gable, if you're listening. I love you.
Sorry, Eric.
Eric.
Especially if you've been bodybuilding lately.
I also don't live in Adelaide.
In 2019, Gable put on Facebook, "If a man went to a woman's apartment, got himself blind drunk, became aggressive without any provocation and started violently attacking her, verbally abusing her, throwing her things at her, refused to leave and then attacked her with a piece of metal and then climbed off her 14th floor balcony after she managed to lock him outside in desperation," would she be charged with murder? Would she be dragged through trial, vilified, shamed and defamed, even if fully acquitted? I don't think so. He then said, "Victim blaming was hard-coded into the fembot brain. They shout it out involuntarily whenever they detect the slightest suggestion that a female might be responsible for her own actions." Yeah.
Sick. What a dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Where is this guy? I'm going to go to Avalon Apartments and see what he's doing.
I don't think he lives there anymore.
You reckon? 14th floor?
Yeah, do a knock around on the 14th floor. Yeah.
It's only got to be a handful of apartments, maybe, a few, right?
That's
4.
true,
Yeah.
Yeah. An earlier diagnosis by a psychiatrist reported that Gable Tostee's personality problems were so severe that he was considered to be partially disabled.
What?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Just tidbit, just to finish off our story.
Yeah, thanks. I've just had cracked my fourth beer. I didn't get through all 6.
Yeah, anyone that doesn't know what Tui's Extra Dry is, do your best to keep it that way because it's not good.
Good point.
Thanks for joining us. If you want to get in touch, please go to our website, hangoversfromhell.com. Please tell your friends all about us and subscribe if you want to hear more episodes. We'll see you next week for a Trashed Mag minisode. Bye!
Okay, bye.